Hi everyone, my name is Risha. Today is the 31st of March 2024 and I'm going to be going over my weekly prediction for SPY or the ETF for the S&P 500. As usual, I'll be going over the monthly, weekly, and finally the daily charts, and then I'll switch over to the Excel sheet where we'll review last week's prediction and go over this one in more detail using the option chain as well. But before getting into this video, it's important to make the disclaimer that all information here is completely educational, and therefore it is important to conduct your own analysis before entering any position in the market to ensure that you're comfortable with the trading style, risk, reward that I use. Regardless, this is a good guide. However, it's not a trading guide. It's just a view and prediction on the market, so you can use it however you like. Just know that it's an educational piece of content. But with that out of the way, let's go into the video. Monthly charts, we can see extremely bullish for S&P 500 and SPY as a result. Starting from November 2023, which is the biggest move, it's just been constantly going up. I mean, the S&P 500 has been in a very, very long and sustained bullish run. The RSI is clearly supporting this price action. So is the MACD. We can see that it almost dipped to cross here, but then it's swung back up and is definitely going up right now. So you would have had a buy signal here. If you had taken the buy here, you would have definitely made some pretty decent profits. But that's what we get from the monthly charts. Now let's move to the weekly charts. So here is where things get a little bit more interesting. So if we actually extend this just a little bit here, we can see that this wedge now ends up looking like this, and it's pretty much almost converging. It's almost converged, if not converged. I mean, the breakout should be happening very, very soon, considering the slope of these two lines here is practically like touching each other now. So this means that clearly we should expect a breakout in either direction, and we can see that the MACD is clearly going upwards along with the RSI. So we have very good bullish signals. Although this is in the overbought region, we do have a chance that it can go downwards. However, the MACD is strong. Volume, however, we can see is actually diverging from the price. Not a good signal, and I mentioned this in the past few videos. Volume divergence is not good for the market since it is a stage of declining demand, which is a signal for an entry into a bear market. So we do want to be safe here. Whenever this breaks, this should be a good signal, since this candle here is now the high, is 524.11 as the buy stop, because we do expect that in the end S&P 500 goes up, and if this isn't broken, then we take the low. But that's all we get from the weekly charts. Now let's move to the daily charts, which are a lot more erratic. We can see that here we had the first day was a gravestone doji, although it was quite a weak signal. There was not really a long wick, but technically it would be. Next day we had a bearish engulfing candle, technically, which would actually end up being, a bearish engulfing candle. And then here we had a hangman hammer type of pattern. Very weird week. That's why the weekly chart wasn't really a super directional. We can see that the RSI average is pretty flatlined. So is the MACD. So we don't have too strong of a directional signal from the daily charts, but we can take the weekly charts as a good signal. So now let's move to the Excel sheet. Here, last week no trade again. This week we wait for 524.61 as the resistance or buy stop. Sell when it falls below the support at 511.12. Target of 1%, trailing stop loss. If the target or stop loss isn't hit, then we take the closing price on Friday. The weekly expiry, the max OI for the weekly expiry is 529 for CE, which is more than last week, good signal. And the PE level is the same, so that's actually a bullish signal from the option chain at 43,082 and 29,584 respectively. PCR is 1.9, very bullish. Although in a manner that is interpreted as a contrarian signal, we can actually take this as a bearish signal, because it's actually an overbought signal. The market is too bullish, so that's actually not a good signal. Max OI for monthly expiry is 510, which has gone down at 42,279 and 475 for PE at 88,108. Monthly PCR is 3.78, down from last week. Weekly trend is up, and so is the monthly trend. But that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.